Hey guys, welcome back to another edition of Hard Knocks UT. Got some news for the pod. Michael has decided to close out his time on the pod. Hard Knocks UT will now be a Tennessee only podcast. Be looking for some new graphics to come out. Had a good time with Michael. He's just got some other stuff going on. So for the next couple of weeks, we'll keep doing some form of this till we add some permanent fixtures. Some of these guys are getting pretty permanent as it is. Be on the lookout for some big things coming from the ATV Vols page. We got a lot in the works right now. A lot of big things coming, so be on the lookout. For now, task at hand. Want to go around the room and get one thing that everybody liked from the 41-34 loss we took to Pitt.
This is tough to find something positive. So we had a fast start. Really good start. I remember past coaches, we've had issues kind of getting our guys up a little bit. It was a noon game. Sometimes you don't know what you're going to get when you throw out the noon time. The fast start, that's all really positive I got. I mean, there was a lot of penalties. We blew a lead, turnovers. Attendance was bad. I'm just going to go with it was a fast start. That's all I got. I'm going to be negative Nancy today, so I'll just pass it off to the next one.
Okay, so everyone that knows me knows I'm a pretty positive fan. So I am going to backpack off of Leland for a little bit and agree that the penalties were a killer. That was horrendous. But one positive that I took amongst a lot of positives was we haven't seen a team in orange and white play that hard in I can't tell you how long. There was never a chance, there was not one time in the game where I thought we were out of it. We were always in the game because of how hard they were playing. They never gave up, and I love that. As someone who's been through it all with this team, it's really refreshing to see that.
So one of my favorite things that I felt like they kind of got an A+ was special teams. First block punt in 2 years that was actually successful. And I found that was a really good thing. I also agree that they did not give up. And they didn't lack energy. They started go when they took the field. But my number one thing was the special teams. I thought they did a great job out of the whole day. I would pick that as my favorite unit on the field.
Mm-hmm. My biggest positive is that Joe Milton didn't hit my fucking car in the parking lot with one of his footballs. So. Oh my God. That's genuinely my positive. The next person can go.
The Arvo.
Well, congrats on that, Paul. I'm going to bounce off low. That's what I had written down. Special teams. What is it? Remember the Titans' attitude reflects leadership, and my is nut. I love him. He's my favorite coach on staff, and I think they really reflected their coach on that. Other than that, that's really the only positive thing I've got. I know he got hurt, but it was nice to see hang with the quarterback. Again, I know he got hurt, but it was nice to see the backup go in because God knows we haven't seen that in a long time. And it was good to see JG not in there. So that's my number one positive.
Yes, sir.
All right, Brent, you got anything?
Oh, yeah, I guess where most of you maybe lean toward the negative, I'm on the positive side. So I thought it was a great game. Although we did give it away, should have came out with the victory. What I liked is in the first game against Bowling Green, they went zone and dared us to throw it. and we took what they gave us and ran it on them. Pitt, which is a good defense, and I think they even led the nation last year in tackles for loss. I like that our receivers were able to get off the line of scrimmage and beat that press coverage. Now, granted, we didn't hit them, but they were torching them DBs all game long. And and I also liked that whether it was Milton or Hooker, we moved the ball. I think there's a lot to build on. And so let's go Vols.
Brad, you got anything? One thing you liked that you saw Saturday?
I mean, I got a bunch actually. Just one thing though.
Your biggest. You can list a couple.
Okay.
You can list a couple. Just don't take mine.
I think defense played a big role in the first half, especially the first quarter. I think they played their hearts out. I really do. I think that because we didn't score points, the morale kind of got to them. But for them to hold Pittsburgh and that veteran quarterback, I mean, that's pretty impressive. I mean, I don't know what the stats were, but it was 10-0. And, I mean, I don't think they scored 14 points into the second quarter, right?
They scored 27 in the second quarter.
Yeah.
Yeah. What did they score in the first quarter?
It was the second quarter that we were down batting again.
Right, but what they do in the first quarter? That's what I'm saying.
They shut them out in the first quarter.
Yeah, first quarter was a shutout.
They started three straight 3-and-outs on defense.
So if we scored, the defense I think would have been off. Would have lived off of the offense. And they would have played. I think the defense did really well. And then at the end, they just didn't have enough gas because our offense is so fast and our defense just can't keep up. You saw Barron that was injured or couldn't get out there. So it's not the defense's fault, So, but that's my takeaway.
So here's what I saw that I liked. Tennessee's number 1 running back was out. Tennessee's number 2 running back was out at halftime. Tennessee's number 3 running back played every snap of the second half. We had 13 penalties for 134 penalty yards. We lost the turnover battle 0-1. We turned it over on downs, and we overshot 4 home run balls, and we still kept it to a 1-score game.
Yeah.
So I agree. I think the team showed a lot of fight. They had a lot of adversity against them. Going back to what Maddie said, kind of with the fight, it's been a long time since you've seen a team show that much fight. I think last year's team or probably any team under Jeremy Pruitt probably loses this game by 4 touchdowns. We didn't come out ahead, but this game really gave me the feels of like the Georgia Tech and Atlanta game where we pulled it out in overtime 42-41. If we score on that last drive when Hooker throws that interception and go into overtime 41-41, could be just as big of a win. But that being said, 2017 we also finished 4-8, so I don't know if that's really a good year to go back to. I like what Brent said, bringing up our wide receivers being open. I kind of feel like our wide receiver core is kind of like our Corvette, but our quarterbacks won't give us the keys to it. So
good analogy.
Let's hit the didn't likes. Let's go same order, starting with Leland.
All right, it's about to be a shit show. I might take up 57 minutes on this. All right, I'm not gonna sugarcoat. We shit the bed. Heupel shit the bed. I said it before the game that this was a pretty vital game when it comes to his resume and his tenure here. I know it's the second game. I don't want to hear all that. Kiffin shit the bed here. He cost us UCLA. Dooley and Butch, I think one of them had Oregon, which I'm not going to put too much emphasis on that one. I can't remember the other one. Anyway, I said before the game this was a vital, winnable game. It's not Oklahoma. It wasn't Alabama. It's not Ohio State. It was Pitt. it makes it even worse that we were spotted 10 points, and we were at home. So we were given a good start. I don't understand how a D1 divisional QB SEC played in big games before, he cannot hit the broadside of a barn. My grandmother, and she's dead, I think could hit those receivers in her grave down the sideline. And I just don't understand how. I watched the replay of the game. I watched the replay today at work, and there was literally 5 or 6 passes that he overthrew in 2 drives. Now, granted, the Heupel, he got the guys open. The guys were open. So I'm going to take that. So if he's scheming wise to get these guys open, we have got to have somebody to hit these. Those are big plays that could have changed the game. We could have went up 17 at the worst. We could have been up 21 at the best. Penalties. We just talked about in the last podcast how the Bowling Green game was so well coached, no penalties. And don't get me wrong, the refs were a shit show themselves. So it's going to be 50-50 on the shitty refs and our player discipline. The refs, Ray Charles, I tweeted this earlier, or I tweeted this during the game. Ray Charles could have called a better game from his house. And we got screwed on a bunch of stuff. I still don't understand. And I'm not a big under center guy. Like, I know when Butch was here, we all complained, why is he in the shotgun on the goal line? I'm not a big component. You have to be under center. But when it doesn't work, you look like an idiot. Now, there's a difference between a short 1 yard and a long 1 yard, okay? That play the other day was a short 1 yard. Get up to the line and go QB sneak, okay? I can understand if it was a long 1 yard and you want to still run shotgun and hand it to the QB and all that. But that's high school stuff. And that's what Butch Jones did. Stuff like that. And so that's a negative on Heupel. Defense, I didn't even realize they scored 27 until 5 minutes ago in the second quarter. I didn't realize it was that much. Who the hell gives up 27 points in 1 quarter? That's unheard of. I can't even remember how they scored 27.
It was the second quarter last week that got us too.
Yeah. So it looks like he has good starts.
Field position and fumbles.
And then I told my buddy at the game, I said, they're eventually going to flip field position on us if we don't punch the ball in. And they did. Couple bad calls. Someone tweeted this the other day, and I can't remember during the game. Y'all will have to correct me. Was there the play where we had the 4th and 1 and the 3rd and 1 or whatever? Did someone said Heupel didn't challenge it, but I thought they reviewed it.
They did. They
did review it
twice. They reviewed it twice.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah.
They didn't show the board.
Someone said that was complaining about Heupel not challenging that play, but I could have swore it got reviewed.
Yeah.
By rule, you can't challenge an already officiated reviewed play. So that's just an irrelevant comment. Probably balls picks.
Yeah. Thank you.
There's a couple. I'm gonna switch gears a little bit from the game and focus on the quarterbacks for a minute. Some of the Knoxville media, and I'm kind of sick of their shit. They act like we're rolling out Peyton out there. Like, we can't question the first and second quarterbacks.
Yeah.
And I'm so sick of hearing that we can't question why a 4-star QB is not on the field or getting playing time when the other 2 guys aren't established.
Amen.
There was a reason why 2 other schools gave up on these guys. Okay. So it's a travesty that Harrison Bailey has not at least gotten a drive or 2. And I'm not a Bailey believer. I don't know if he has anything. And actually Hooker, I liked him better than Milton to this point.
Mm-hmm.
I know Hooker had the pick towards the end of the game. The QB or the linebacker was hiding. I'm not going to put too much emphasis on that pick. It was just a good play by the linebacker, basically. But I'm sick of these people acting like we're rolling out Peyton 1 and freaking Andy Kelly too. And we can't
Yeah.
question why this guy's third string. I just don't understand it. But someone else can go ahead. But that's just my thoughts on that.
Okay, fair enough. My biggest downside from the game, I would say, pretty obvious. The glaring issue at quarterback. Going into the season, I thought Milton was going to be the guy. I heard all this hype. I saw all these videos that the football team posted on Twitter, Instagram, whatever. He looked good, but you got to think those are edited videos.
Mhm.
Everyone that is out here that is saying Harrison Bailey should start the next game, slow yourself down, because most of y'all are throwing out these stats that he put up in the orange and white game. That is what? Orchestrated. It's almost like a picture or a recruiting type video. We don't know what he can do. And when he did get in this last year, it was always in garbage time. I mean, maybe he's the guy, maybe he's not. Personally, I don't think any of the 3 quarterbacks on our roster are the guy. And I mean, that's that. But one thing that has got to change is if Milton is coming in and these receivers are getting 10, 15 yards of separation and you can't hit them wide open, you don't need to be playing. I mean, straight up, it doesn't matter how talented you are or how high your ceiling could be. If you can't hit an open receiver with that much distance between him and the next defender, you should not be playing. So I'm very high on the Hooker train right now. I'm saying start him, see how it goes. Next week is a good week to experience. Well, technically this week. Against Tech is a good week to experience. I want to see some Harrison Bailey. I know Joe's probably going to be out, but I want to see Harrison play. And who knows, if things go bad, he could come in Florida. You never know. So I'm going to go with quarterbacks. And I'll also say our offense not sustaining long drives. That was also a pretty big negative. Was not a fan of that. That's why our defense gave up points, because they got gassed. You have to sustain drives in order to keep a fresh defense.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we'll go to Brad. Brad, you're third.
Brad, didn't you?
What? You, bro. Come on, Brad.
Oh, Brad. I thought you said Brett, man. My bad.
No. Yeah. Brad's third, yeah.
Hey, your country accent, man. Hey, I'm gonna go off of her. Especially, I mean, Milton, he was the Josh Dobbs, the 6'5", the Cam Newton, the 2.0 Cam Newton, this guy coming from Michigan. What is it, the Big 12, Big 10? I mean, he was the one that, was the Messiah, basically, and as Vols fans, we're just excited. We got that Cam Newton. We're ready. We got that arm. He's ready. We're going to score 40 points a game, and we didn't do it. And, I mean, I'm disappointed from the first game, Bowling Green, because we should have blew them out by 40 points. I don't want to hear the excuses that they had seniors. I don't want to hear the excuses that we were a first-year coach. This is the first-year quarterback. It's ridiculous. I mean, you go through spring practice. I mean, he only had a few. But if he was in the orange and white, he probably would have played better. But still, this guy is, a 4-star quarterback, one of the popular quarterbacks, and he gets transferred to us. And, yeah, I mean, he cannot hit a 30-yard bomb or 40 yards. And, I mean, he's great giving the ball to receivers, and then they make plays. But, I mean, that's my negative. I mean, I told myself I'm going to give him another game, Pittsburgh, and we should have won that game. But he got hurt. But even before he got hurt, he could not hit the receivers. And the fans were livid. I was livid. And then he got hurt. Then Hooker came in, and this is what's positive. Hooker came in. He did fumble. But after that, he gave a spark to the offense. And I really like that. I'm a Bailey believer, but Hooker came in, gave a spark to the offense, gave a spark to all the fans, and then came down and he threw his first touchdown, I believe, to Callaway. But before that, he passed it to Tillman. Tillman made a guy miss, and you could tell the excitement, the stuff on the sidelines. You could tell the guys were ready to make a play for this team. Then he gave the ball to Callaway, and the Callaway had about a 45-yard touchdown. I mean, that guy is special. I heard from the coaches, from everybody, that Callaway is our best receiver. You could see that after that play. After that, Hooker got a touchdown. I'm not sure what happened after that, but then he threw to our tight end, Warren, and I believe that was an RPO. I like that play. I do. But the negativity on that play is I've seen it before. Bowling Green game and this game, you can see it. Heupel, his offense is a little predictable if you really look at it. I think SEC defenses and coordinators are going to eat that up. I'm not sure if Heupel is going to go beyond those plays or not. But it looks like his offense is fast-paced, a little bit of running, a lot of screens, and a lot of quick passes, then a lot of deep passes. But like I said, Hooker, he came in and he played. And he had that fumble, but after that, he played really well and brought the team back to almost winning the game or tying the game. That interception at the end, I knew he was about to throw it. I guess he's young in this offense, obviously. But that corner, I believe it's a corner or safety, he baited him really well, and we saw it going. But that's my positive and my negative.
Okay, so basically, last we talked about some things that would really start to give us red flags if we saw, and one of my main things was penalties, and we had 134 yards in penalties. The other thing is that one of our penalties got a touchdown called back. If that wouldn't have been called back, I believe it was a block in the back. If that happened, we would have already been tied. And then I also agree with the quarterback situation. I was a huge believer in Milton in the beginning, but after watching it in person and then going back and watching it again, it's so clear that he's just not the guy. I don't know. I think Hooker is an improvement. One thing that I worry about if they try to throw Milton back in is our receivers getting fed up with open and just never getting the ball. I could see some major chemistry issues with that. I think Hooker should be the guy. Let's see. Other thing, I guess, injuries, which we talked about. But yeah, everyone pretty much summed it up already. It wasn't like the greatest performance by any means. So many missed opportunities. I mean, my God. Touchdowns. At least 4 touchdowns we missed.
Oh, yeah.
Easily just rewatching. Really, one thing that I do want to touch on, I don't know if Harrison Bailey necessarily fits what Heupel's looking for in his offensive scheme. That doesn't mean that he shouldn't get a chance. I feel like they could get more creative if Harrison Bailey has an arm and is able to target these receivers and get the ball there. Maybe they can, run some different plays, shuffle quarterbacks some to get the ball to these receivers and actually make them happy and feel like they're really getting their touches. Because we have some huge talent at wide receiver. So I feel like they could be more creative with that. But at the same time, I see why they want versatility and mobility at quarterback. I feel like that's a really big thing that we need right now when we aren't that deep on our roster. So I don't know if they're just holding him back because he's not that mobile in the pocket. But I do think he deserves to see the field. Let's see. I think that's pretty much it. I guess I agree with pretty much everything everyone else has said.
Okay. If you're driving to work right now with your kid in the car, turn the volume down. It has been since 2016 since we've had a fucking quarterback that we're not scared to like see on the field. It's been 5 fucking years since we've had Josh Dobbs here. We still can't develop a quarterback. Our offense still looks like shit. Even though we have an offensive mind at Josh Heupel, who's this offensive guru and this former Heisman runner-up, and he made Drew Lock. I understand it's going to take time, but I'm so sick and fucking tired of waiting. I wait every damn year for us to rebuild or be back, or it feels like 98. Joe Milton's not the damn answer. He's not going to be the answer. He's only the answer if you're trying to fail. He is C. He is not A. He is not fucking B. Hell, I'll put that Spencer Smith walk-on kid in before I trot his big ass out on the damn field again. He can't hit the broadside of a barn like Leland said. Hendon Hooker is just as good a runner, if not better, than Joe Milton.
Oh, he's better.
Harrison Bailey is the best passer on the field, on the team. I don't know why people – I'm with Leland. I don't know why we're so insane for us asking about Harrison Bailey.
Exactly.
People telling us that Hendon Hooker and Joe Milton deserve their shot. What the hell have they done to deserve their shot? They've not even been here for a full year. Hooker got here, in January, and then Milton committed in the middle of the summer, somewhere around there. So Milton's not even been here long enough to even call himself a VFL. Hooker has been here for about as long as I was away at basic training, and I'm back now. So, I mean, that clearly wasn't that fucking long. Bailey is the only one who has any sustainability in this town. And we all, as of right now, don't hate Bailey. We all kind of don't like Joe Milton. I'm going to say I hate Joe Milton. I'm sick of his shit. It took you cannot, I mean, God, Heupel literally handed him a silver platter and said, here, have a Heisman season. And he said, fuck that shit. I'm going to overthrow the ball by 45 fucking yards because I can. Like, it's great that you can sling it 70 yards flat-footed. That's awesome. High five, you're great. But if you're, it doesn't give a fucking, like, it doesn't matter. If we're in the red zone and you can't hit a receiver 20 yards down the field because you feel like showing off your arm strength and you're trying to hit my fucking car in the parking lot, it's so frustrating being a Tennessee fan. I'm going to stop my rant before I start saying things that might get me kicked off podcasting for the rest of my life. It's all yours.
Paul, you just need to shut up and cheer, okay?
Wait, who said that?
You need to shut up and cheer, okay?
And shut up and cheer.
Wes Rucker.
I'm going to text a buddy.
Okay. All right. So, Leland, you talked about Tennessee shit in the bed, man. That's just a tradition of ours. It's like checker kneeling. It's newer, but we got to get used to it. This is what we do. I think it feels like 08 now after that loss. I got stats right now, which Mo and a few others mentioned about the penalties and all that. I don't know how accurate this is. I've heard this today, but they said besides Milton's run, we only had 33 yards from rushing from the running back. And I think that goes to the O-line. And God knows I love being negative, like Jeremy Pruitt loves being the dumbass and loves JG. But our O-line gave up sacks. I'm not even going to kick the dead horse with the quarterback play. I mean, I'm just used to shitty quarterback play. It's University of Tennessee. We sold our soul for Peyton Manning, I guess. But the O-line is just god awful. And then somebody mentioned it, the goal line, the shotgun. It was Leland. Yeah. That is a huge red flag for me. You know, Butch Jones did it, and God knows we hate Butch Jones, even though he's given us really good memories for the last decade and a half. But I didn't like that. That's for sure. Jalen Hyatt, where the hell are you? I mean, you're about as present as Leland's late grandmother he mentioned. I mean, just not there. It's absolutely
Yep, you're right.
And you know, no offense to you, Leland, but you know, I kind of felt like I agreed with you because my great grandfather, he actually had Parkinson's, and I figured he would be more accurate on those deep throws than Milton. You know, I was really worried about Milton though, with all the hype, because God knows we've seen hype with Jonathan Kongbo, Dontavius Blair, JG. He was the #1 dual threat quarterback, and a threat to fumble and a threat to throw a pick six. That was the only dual threat he showed. I mean, And here's a stat. I'm going to end with this because I love being negative. It's not necessarily I love being negative. It's just a learned behavior. It's just what I've been shown with Tennessee football. But this is a very interesting stat, and maybe we can get to this next segment. But besides the last drive where Pitt ran the clock out, Pitt's offense either went 3 and out or they scored. And I think that's got to do with our defense just god awful time. Just like I'm tired of watching this crap of quarterback play. But on to you, Brent.
All right, sorry about that. Took me a while to find the unmute button there. Yeah, it's what I don't like. I don't like ACC refs coming down and then all this money in college football. And I heard Doc Punch said that we only had one angle view. It's from the opposite sideline. We didn't have a camera on that side of the field that would have clearly showed that was a first down. How come we got billion-dollar industry and some games you have every camera angle known to man, but this one you don't have both sidelines covered? That's unacceptable in my opinion.
I heard today that we were a victim of budget cuts, that we didn't have the camera angles like some of the bigger games because ESPN's just made budget cuts.
I'll go sit on the side.
Yeah, they made budget cuts and they only do that on the 7 o'clock game in every single Bama game. Just so something can happen. Hey, we got a penalty, what? For somebody removing their helmet after we scored, and it never was shown. And Cody there, big old Cody that blocked at Alabama, it was immediately off. But yet they can't. Oh, come on now.
Don't even start. Don't even start.
Okay, now, but, you know, of course, the penalties, we got to cut down on that. And some of them are not penalties, man. You got to play football. You got these little running backs and wide receivers. They spin on you. They slide this way and that way. Hey, they're not down until you throw them down. Let them throw them down. Then they'll know not to come that way again. Hey, we're playing football. It's tackle football. It ain't two-hand touch. And but yeah, that's a game that we let slide by, but we showed what we're able to put on the field. And I think we'll get better and, you know, just be patient and go Vols.
We've been told to be patient for 20 years.
Yeah, I'm over being.
Fuck being patient.
I'm done.
I just want to say I'm 21, legally allowed to drink, and I've never seen us win the SEC East that I can remember. We may have won it in 2007.
Oh, we lost to LSU to bullshit call.
I wasn't old enough to even really give a shit about Tennessee football yet, but
I'm old enough where I'm about to where I don't give a shit about Tennessee football.
All right, just to feed off what everybody else had to say, which I didn't think I had that many negative things until other people started talking. So I agree with the refs were horrible, especially that first down call down there towards the goal line. I know it was brought up. That got reviewed like twice. I don't see how that. I mean, I would have to be there like right over the play for me to have any angle that says that wasn't a first down. Also with the refs, what like Brent was saying, I don't get some of these weak ass calls. If you don't want somebody getting body slammed on the field, blow the whistle. Like if you see that's about to happen, blow the whistle. I think that should be like going back to like all the money in football. We can't get more cameras. We can't pay these refs enough to hold them accountable to say, pull them aside and say, you know, hey, if you don't start blowing that whistle sooner, we're going to dock your pay. Like go back and show them, be like, you should have blown the whistle here. You should have blown the whistle here. And I guess where that gets itchy is it's like, who tells them that? Who tells them, hey, you should have blew the whistle sooner? And kind of like Brent said, and I'm going to look into this more, but I didn't know like ACC officials could official. I thought if it was two different conferences playing, it had to be a third party conference officiating. I didn't realize that. So that's my thing with the refs. So I don't want this to get twisted. I'm not happy Joe Milton got hurt. That's why I have this listed as a not good thing. But I'm upset that it took him getting hurt for us to see somebody else.
Amen.
I feel like, by this point, it should be clear. If he hasn't picked it up, he's not going to. And, he might make me eat my words. I hope he does. But to go along with that, Joe Milton has played almost a game and a half for us. And if you go and look at our stats page, Hendon Hooker's our leading passer. That's not okay. Joe Milton had a game against Bowling Green where he should have padded his stats for 300 passing yards. And our current passing leader is Hendon Hooker with 189 yards that he got in half a game against Pittsburgh. That's not okay. And that right there should be enough to say, okay, let's sit Milton. Let's give him a wake-up call. But no, it takes him getting hurt. Here's something I want us to kind of go into a discussion about, because I'm going to say this, and it might sound dumb the way I'm going to put it out there. It's not like a one game thing. It's like a more of a deeper thing. Does it bother you that Josh Heupel put all of his eggs in the Joe Milton basket? If Jeremy Pruitt doesn't bring in Hendon Hooker last December or January, and Brian Maurer transfers out, you lose Salter, we would be currently sitting with only Bailey and Hooker. Bailey and Milton. What this guy's supposed to be some big quarterback evaluator. He brings in Joe Milton. He puts all of his eggs in that basket. And if Jeremy Pruitt doesn't bring in Hendon Hooker back last December or January, where are we sitting right now?
Yeah.
What are you guys' thoughts on that?
So I'm going to, as negative as I was in our negative segment, I'm going to bring some stuff to the table here. So Garantano, okay, what was the thing about Garantano? Garantano, we always thought that he had a certain ceiling and he could never get past that ceiling, right? And we would always wait, or let me rephrase. Pruitt would always wait, and he always thought that he could elevate that ceiling. We knew better. We knew that it always seemed like when Garantano started a game, he would only score 24 points, 20 points a game, right? We never see Garantano score 40 points a game, right? So Milton, let's take Milton, for instance, right? We go back to all the tools, okay? He has everything that you could ever want, right? So if what I'm trying to say is the deep balls, you would think, is not something physically that's stopping him from hitting those deep routes. That might be a mental thing, right? So it might be fixable, okay? If he couldn't throw it 70 yards, and he had a weak arm like a Rick Clausen or something, he couldn't get the ball down the field, that's a physical, okay?
Rick Clausen's better.
So I think in Heupel's,
Come on now.
I think in Heupel's mind, he's like, this dude has everything imaginable to be NFL ready, basically. What if I can get him to the point where he's hitting some of these targets? And so he's only started a game and a half. Yes, the stats are not great, but I want to bring some positivity to this. If we're going to Florida, I don't know if I trust Hooker. He put on a good game, but it was against Pitt. Do you trust a former Virginia Tech down in the swamp, or would you take a guy who's 6'5", can maybe do more with his legs, read option, hit some stuff down his mid-range game? There's been no issue with Milton's mid-range game. He hasn't turned the ball over. He hasn't made stupid mistakes. His only issue is the deep ball. What if the deep ball is fixable? That's all I'm trying to say. I'm not saying let's give up on him, and I'm not saying let's not try somebody else out. I'm in the middle. I want to see more from both sides. I want to see more from Hooker. I want to see Bailey with more snaps, and I want to see Milton hit some of these targets. I'm not ready to give up on him, is what I'm basically trying to say. But I think the whole competition should be open. That's all I'm saying.
All right. So going off of that, let's go around the room, same lineup, and everybody gives something they want to see against Tennessee Tech. I know it's not a big game. Let's go ahead and hit these points. Tennessee Tech sucks. They're 0-2. They lost to Stanford 52-14. They lost to Furman 26-0. They've played two quarterbacks that are combined 31 of 67 for 250 yards, 1 touchdown, 4 interceptions through 2 games. Their running backs have combined for 40 attempts, 150 yards, and a touchdown. So 2 games, 2 shutouts. No, not shutouts, but blowouts. No reason Tennessee should struggle in this game at all. So we're not going to do a big preview, whatever. But, I mean, this should be a figure it out game. So what's something you want us to figure out this weekend? Back to Leland.
So before the Bowling Green game, I mentioned how I see some of these teams around the country. Auburn scored 60 in their opener. I was really wanting to see something like that against Bowling Green. Let's see a complete game, a complete ass beating. I can't remember the last time we put 60 or 55 or 50 on a team. It's been a long time. Let's see up and down the field. Let's see defense creating turnovers. Let's get out with a 57-3 win. That's all I ask. I think we're due for one of those. I mean, is that too much to ask? I mean, Tennessee Tech, we're not asking to go, win the natty or something. Let's just give me a good old fashioned ass beat. Quarterback play, solid. Let's see all 3 guys. I don't care how you want to split up the reps. I do want to see all 3 guys. Period. No more keeping Bailey on the sideline. Let's give them all 3 reps.
I agree. The biggest thing I want to see is I want to see our offense sustain a drive that's worth something, not somewhere where we go and get a first down twice or 3 times and then they're off the field and then the defense gets gassed. I want to see our offense consistently dominate a drive. Going off of what you said, if Milton is healthy and ready to go, I too want to see all 3 quarterbacks. If he's not, give me Hooker the first half, and hopefully by then we're blowing them out, and then give me Bailey for the second and kind of go off that and see what happens. I want to see somebody hit a deep ball. That's the biggest thing. Anybody, I don't care. And also, like Leland said, I want to see the defense create some turnovers. This is the best weekend to do that. A very weak opponent, you should be able to create them pretty easily. Then again, I'm not the person back there playing, but with a lower tier opponent like this, you should be able to get at least a couple in 4 quarters. So we'll see what happens, but definitely need to correct the deep ball and give me some solid offensive drives so my defense isn't just sucking eggs by second quarter.
All right, on to Brad.
All right. I just wrote some stats down while we had a break. Rushing yards, we had Jabari Small, and I like him, but he's a small back. And he'll be all right, for maybe some screens and some plays. But he was 8 rushes of 18 yards. And I didn't even know that. That's bad. Maybe he had 1 touchdown, but that's bad. He needs to be better this game. Huh?
He only played 1 half.
Yeah, he did get hurt. You're right. But then you go to Wright, and I'm trying to think what he had. It was bad too. I don't know, 12 rushes for 43 yards maybe. Or no, it was really bad. But anyway, so I want to see the rush. Hopefully Evans, I think he's a bigger back. I think he's the SEC back. I liked what he did against Bowling Green. It sucked that he did not play against Pittsburgh because I think I think we could have won against Pittsburgh because we could run the ball. We did not run the ball at all against them, and we couldn't. I think Evans could have done that. I want to see the running backs do good. Obviously, the quarterbacks. I don't think Milton's going to be playing. I think he's hurt. So I want to see Hooker and see that offense and see if he learned from his mistakes, that he's not going to fumble. He's going to hold on to the ball. He's not going to throw those interceptions. I know it's Tennessee Tech, but we can't take away from him because, we're Tennessee. But anyways, I also want to see Young. I heard that he's going to be playing this game, and I don't know, he's a 4 or 3-star defensive end, and him and Barron are going to, I think, make the defense a lot better. When Barron was out this game, it was bad. Their quarterback had all the time in the world. I'm not sure if Barron was hurt or something, but anyway, I want to see them get sacks. And the defense, I just, they need to play better. Even if it's high pass, even if the offense, they go 3 and out or whatever, the defense got to step up. That's it.
All right. One thing for sure, I want to see way less penalties. That's just absolutely unacceptable. That's horrifying. Never want to see that many penalties again. Even if Milton was healthy, I want to see Hooker start regardless. I think he deserves a start. And I want to see Harrison Bailey come in. I want to see the defense not allow any touchdowns. It's Tennessee Tech. I think that is not too much to ask in the slightest. No more injuries. And I definitely want to see the deep ball. Like I said, I want to see Hooker get in there. I want to see them do some sustained offensive drives, kind of play with the tempo a little bit. I feel like, as some people have touched on throughout the entire podcast, I feel like the tempo is kind of messing with everyone on the field, because if the offense just goes so fast all the time and then we don't even get a score out of it, or we're overthrowing all these balls, the defense just has to come right back out there every time and try to make an answer. When the offense, if they're going to play that fast, they better score just about every time if they're going to play that fast, because the defense does not get a break. So I think it would be worthwhile for them to play with the tempo on offense and see how that works out. And I am curious to see how, if/when Bailey gets in, how the tempo of the offense changes. Because that'd be nice to see moving forward into the Florida week and the rest of the extremely hard games we have coming. It would be nice to see how his presence affects the tempo of the offense. So I would like, and his chemistry with the players. We don't know why he's third string, but I would love to see what he has to offer. And then, and I just want the special teams to stay on their game. Like I commented on them earlier, I thought they were the best players on the field. And I don't want that to change, because in big games, they can make a huge difference. If they're downing the ball, like on the 1 or making big plays, that can come up to be huge. And it's also a huge momentum changer. So I just want them to continue on that path, because I think they're doing awesome. And other than that, obviously, I expect like a huge blowout. Even I know it's Tennessee and I know we're playing Tennessee Tech, but I mean, God, like we kicked their ass and don't have to worry about it. That's all I got to say for this upcoming week.
Here is my spiel about the Tennessee Tech game. As a coaching staff right now, Heupel needs to figure out who he wants to play against Florida, because regardless of how many games we have coming up, this is the last game we have until South Alabama that we have a guaranteed win. I mean, I can go out there and play quarterback against Tennessee Tech and hand the ball off, and we would win the game. Like this is not a good Tennessee Tech team. This isn't like Bowling Green, who kind of has some flair to him. We don't know what Bowling Green had. this Tennessee Tech team is ass. Like we all know that. I could go play quarterback and we'd win. But if you're Josh Heupel, you have to know who's starting against Florida, whether that's Hooker, whether you're going back with Milton, or whether you're going to try Bailey. I don't think Bailey's even an option in Josh Heupel's eyes for some reason. I just don't get that vibe. He has a very current with it's going to be this guy and definitely not this guy. That's just how I get. But I think Hooker has to get the start in this game, and I personally think Hooker's going to play against Florida because we have something with Hooker that we just don't have with Milton, and that's the ability to make plays and extend plays that we've not seen Milton really do. He's done it a little bit, but when it comes to hitting the deep ball, that's what Heupel likes. Like we've seen it at UCF, he likes running and he likes taking shots. If you can't hit those shots, that is half of the offense that Heupel wants to run, completely negated from the playbook. And I'm tired of working a playbook around a quarterback because a quarterback can't execute the playbook. We have to get a quarterback to come in. If we're going to have any shot against Florida, we have to have a quarterback come in and actually have some freaking confidence. We don't look confident on offense when our quarterback is missing receivers by 30 yards or underthrowing receivers or throwing interceptions or just looking like shit. But as far as Maddie and Leland saying you want to see 3 quarterbacks play, I would only want to see 2. I want to see Hooker come out and start, play the whole first half, and then throw Bailey in garbage time because it should be garbage time the whole second half. And then I think Milton needs to sit back and watch the team play because we saw in 2019 when I hate comparing JG to anything good, but we saw what happened when JG watched like 4 games on the bench. He came in and got us to a bowl game. Credit to our defense. They did kind of figure it out at the end of the 2019, but for the most part, JG was the reason we made it to a bowl game in 2019, as much as I hate to give the kid credit. But we have to figure out what we want to look like for the rest of the year in this game. Because like I said, other than South Carolina at home, I wouldn't call that a guaranteed win. I think we should win because, we're at home. We're better than South Carolina, but we're Tennessee. We'll find a way to win that game if we want to. So this game honestly has just as much impact on the rest of the season, in my opinion. So this game has to be a figure it out game for sure, like Bandit said.
All right, I've got 5 things I've got written down. First thing is I want to see defensive turnovers because God knows if we're going to – it's not – I mean, I don't see it happening, but if we're going to beat Florida, we've got to have turnovers. We've got to do something I haven't seen all year. Less penalties. God knows. With Heupel's offense, you look at UCF, he's one of the more highly penalized teams. I don't know if that's because they're in a hurry and they're not thinking about being careful or what it is. I need to see less penalties. Number 3, where the hell is it? Okay, Hyatt. Where the hell are you, man? Your dad talks you up on Twitter, and you've got what it takes. I mean, you burnt Alabama's DBs last year, the most highly paid DBs in college football. I want to see you, man. Catch the damn ball. I want to see it. Number 4, I want to see D. Beckwith and Lenneth Whitehead. You're talking about like a 4-star. You are referring to Milton. Yeah, Milton. Those are 4 stars, and they've done nothing. I don't know if they've seen the field. Number 5, I don't want to see a partial ass whipping, okay? With Bowling Green, we saw one get whipped. I want to see both ass cheeks get whipped. And I'm so sick of second quarter letdown. Let's whoop ass for 4 quarters and establish who our quarterback is. I don't care if the quarterback is Bailey, Hooker, Milton. I don't care if it's the kicker. As long as it's somebody that can complete and it's not JG, that's all I care about. So most importantly, a complete ass whipping. Because I've seen a complete ass whipping when we get it. Let's do it to somebody else. Even if it is Tennessee Tech, let's just give it out and establish who our quarterback's going to be. And that's all I got.
Yeah, I think first and foremost, let's come out of the game healthy. And, if we got some guys that's nursing injury, they don't need to be playing in this game. Let's save it. But I do agree. We do need to create turnovers. Be nice to see a couple of pick sixes, but be nice to see Theo do some more punt returns. He's got some legit speed, and man, he's been playing great. He's everywhere on defense. Velos Jones is doing great on kick returns, so I'd like to continue to see that. Excited to see Evans back at running back. It just goes to show how quickly everything can change. We sure could have used T. Hodge there Saturday, I believe. He was buried on the depth chart, and just like that, you lose one running back, Evans out for the game, and then Smalls gets hurt on the last play of the first half. And so again, patience and be ready when it's your time. Step in. And the biggest thing, I can't wait to see Byron Young. Excited about that, and Tyler's been playing great as well. Tyler Barron, and want to see a little bit more out of Roman Harrison too. So go Vols. Let's get them.
All right, I got first and foremost. Well, a lot of this has already been hit on, but the big one's D. Beckwith. Man, I don't know why that guy hasn't seen the field. That's a guy that I thought we would see at wide receiver, tight end, running back. I thought he would be all over this offense. And 2 games in, he hasn't seen the field. That dude is a huge, absolute mammoth of a back. Something I want to come away from this Tennessee Tech game is knowing exactly what Josh Heupel does want in a quarterback. Because I'm telling you, you can go and talk about this Josh Heupel offense to anybody, and if you say you want a quarterback that throws the ball, they're going to say, "Oh, Josh Heupel runs the ball." And if you talk about a quarterback that runs the ball, they're going to say, "Well, Josh Heupel had Drew Lock at Missouri, and he likes to throw the ball." Josh Heupel does what Josh Heupel does. Josh Heupel has run so many different offenses. It doesn't matter if you run the ball or throw the ball. So we need to come away from this game like I don't know what it takes. I don't know if it takes Harrison Bailey throwing the ball against Tennessee Tech for 400 yards, or if it takes Hendon Hooker running the ball for 400 yards. But I want to know what this guy's looking for. What does it take to say, okay, you're my number one? That's who we're sticking with. Because like it was mentioned, after this game, you don't have any more figure it out games. This is the figure it out game. If we're going against Florida, Georgia, and Alabama with 3 different quarterbacks, it's not going to be pretty. Velus Jones got brought up. I think Tennessee Tech would be a good game for him to have a kick return, 100-yard kick return in. You get 2 or 3 of those in a season, that's almost a guaranteed All-American kick returner. Also, I want to see some interceptions. Just brought it up. Tennessee Tech's quarterbacks have combined for 4 interceptions through 2 games. We haven't really had. I don't think we've had an interception at all through 2 games. So we need an interception. Secondary, I mean, they haven't looked horrible, but if there's a team we're going to get an interception against, it needs to be this Saturday. Also, I'm not sure if this is SEC Network Plus that this game is going to be televised on, but whatever game it's on, when Byron Young gets his first sack in that orange uniform, I want to see that brand on the TV screen. That brand on his arm, I want to see that shit full screen. Name, image, likeness. Byron, if you're out there and you're watching, if we can do some kind of graphic with ATB branded on your arm, I'm all for it. We will pay whatever it takes. ATB, BY, let's do it. That's really all I got on things I want to see. I agree. It needs to be a blowout. It needs to be a complete, total blowout. Like we need to make it look like we were pissed off we didn't score what we should have against Bowling Green. All the 20 points extra we should have scored against Bowling Green. You need to tack that on to what you want to score here. We need to put up 60, 70 points this weekend. No holding back. So with all that being said, we really don't have as much of a preview to give this week with the matchup. So we'll just do open discussion from here on out. If there's anything you guys haven't gotten out yet that you want to go back to, we'll go through the lineup one more time, starting with Leland.
I don't have much to say. I probably won't watch that piece of shit Saturday. I'm going to Bristol. But this is a warm up to the Mighty Gators. We're going to Gainesville in a couple weeks. That's all it is a warm up. I'll say this. I hope Alabama knocks the shit out of maybe some players. I don't know. Just wear them out. Wear them out for us. Let's wear them out, Bama. Go Tide! So I'm hoping they'll spread the butt cheeks and beat that ass up Saturday for us. So maybe we can catch them off guard next week. So that's all I got.
I too am hoping for that. The one player I want Alabama to just absolutely destroy is Antonio Richardson. Antonio Richardson. If you're out there, you're probably not listening to this, but if you're out there and you do happen to hear your name dropped, you're pretty freaking good, and that's why I want you to get hurt, because Tennessee and backup quarterbacks against Florida are just not a good combination. Unfortunately, I will be at that game, and I'm really hoping for good things here. So please, I've never in my life cheered for Alabama, but if there's one weekend that I will give my life for Nick Saban, this will be the weekend. Please hurt him.
All right, guys,
That's all I've got.
we got 5 minutes left. We got 5 more people to go. Let's knock this out. 1 minute a person. Brad, you're next.
All right. Kentucky, I just saw it on the radio. Jared the GM, whatever, I don't like him. But anyway, he was talking all crap about Kentucky. There was another girl. She said that Tennessee's going to get beat by Kentucky and we should shut up because Kentucky's this great team or whatever. But Missouri almost beat them, so I don't want to hear that crap. I think we can beat them, even if they have a good quarterback. Florida, now they got 2 quarterbacks. AR, just like she said, and Emory Jones. Emory Jones is good. So I hate to say it, but we're going to get blown out unless Hooker plays, maybe Bailey or whatever if we rush. But this game, yeah, like everybody said, I want 50 points at least. If not, then I'm going to be disappointed.
Touching in on some last things, like obviously I want us to beat the brakes off of Tech. I want Alabama to absolutely annihilate Florida. I want them to be crying. I want us to figure out who our quarterback is. I know a lot of people may not agree with this, but if we have to design a few different special trick plays to where we're swapping quarterbacks in and out just to confuse the shit out of Florida, I'm for that. I think that we could beat them if we had all our ducks in the row. We returned all of our injured players and just got our shit together and had someone who could hit the deep ball while we also had the run game. I think we could make it close. People may think I'm crazy, but whatever. Especially if they lose some people in that Alabama game. I do think if we return everyone, get our shit together, figure out our starting QB, make some trick plays, whatever, I think we have a shot. Last thing, I just wanted to say, I thought it was really cool to meet almost everyone this weekend and this past weekend anyway. And go Vols.
All right. My spill is this. 2015, we opened the season with Bowling Green, an opponent we probably should have beat, and lost it because we shit the bed, played Tennessee Tech, and then went to Florida. This is literally the exact same thing as 2015. The only difference is the Vols don't choke at the end. Final score, 45-41 Tennessee.
That's your Florida score?
What did you just say?
45-41 Tennessee, bet the house on it.
Against Florida?
We did not score 45 on Florida. You are crazy.
Okay, I just say a complete ass beating, and I hope Florida gets treated against Alabama the way Aaron Hernandez would treat his enemy. That's all I got.
This is like a nightmare seeing all these folks in orange rooting for Alabama. That's sickening. I'm a old fart. Yes, I hate Florida, but I can't stand Allegumpia at Tuscalooserville. They are rotten to the core. With that said, one of those teams going to lose, and that is good. Go Vols.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining in. It's been another great show. Hopefully, it didn't go too long for you guys. We tried to shorten it a little bit. I think we still hit right around 80 minutes. So, like I said, keep a close eye on the ATV page. Gonna be some big things coming soon. Big shout out to everybody that joined us again this weekend. Some of the familiar faces: Leland, Maddie, Paul from Down and Dirty, DR Vol. Daniel hadn't been with us for a couple of shows, but I'm glad to see him back. Brent, always tuning in when he can, and we got Brad on the show with us this week. So go Vols. Oh,
Balls by 50.
trying to wait.
Hey, I'm trying to meet y'all this weekend.
There
Go
you go.
Vols, baby.
See you
Fuck
guys.
Florida.
Go Vols.